Welcome to Every Screen. We're going to recap the movie called The Exorcist Believer.
Mommy?
The Exorcist Believer opens in Haiti with the introduction of photographer Victor and his stunning pregnant wife, Seren. The children of Haiti enchant Seren, and they call her to ask for a blessing for her pregnant child. Victor is shocked to learn that she holds such beliefs when she informs him about it. Victor is forced to choose between his wife and their unborn child when a massive earthquake occurs later in the day while he is gone on assignment. Victor is back in sunny America with his daughter Angela, 13 years later. They appear to be quite close. While sorting through some of her mother's possessions, Angela discovers a purple scarf that she likes. Victor discovers this on the way to school and is upset that Angela took his wife's belongings because they are quite special. Victor grants Angela's request to visit her friend's house concurrently, but only if she returns for supper. Overjoyed, Angela goes to school. She runs into Catherine, a friend who is also thrilled about something. Angela and Catherine were raised extremely differently from one another. Angela lives with her single dad, who does not believe in God, while Catherine lives with her devout parents and has 2 siblings. Angela begs Catherine to accompany her on her journey to get in touch with her mother, perhaps to learn more about her personality. The two go to the woods after school and discover an underground hole of sorts. Once inside, they proceed with what they believe to be a seance. To summon Seren's spirit, they light a candle and use a necklace that resembles a pendulum. For the following 3 days, Victor, Tony, and Miranda are unable to locate their girls. They believe the girls have gone out into the wrong side of the woods or have been abducted by homeless persons. The girls are discovered 30 miles distant in an unknown barn after 3 days. Their personalities also appear to have changed, even if they believe they have only been gone for a few hours. The girls' agitated demeanor appears to be caused by some sort of traumatic incident-induced amnesia, according to the police and medics. Nevertheless, nothing appears to be amiss upon closer examination. The parents are worried sick because their feet are scorched from not wearing shoes for the past 3 days. Following their return home, the girls exhibit really odd behavior. In the end, Angela had a seizure after hearing things, breaking off their own nails, and wetting the bed. She needs to be drugged at the hospital in order to settle down. She acts quite aggressively, using profanity and uttering words that she wouldn't normally say. Yes, this is becoming familiar. However, Catherine suffers a breakdown during church and uses the wine and communion wafers to completely destroy the room. The phrase, "the body and the blood," keeps coming up in her speech. Her return made everyone thrilled, but all of a sudden they were afraid for their lives. Miranda starts to question whether the girls have been possessed at this point. Being skeptical, Victor essentially advises her that she needs to take a nap before continuing to spout absurdities. However, while Victor's neighbor, is tending to a heavily drugged Angela, the girl wakes up and begins to say some amazing things, and is a nurse, and had desired to become a nun, but due to her pregnancy and subsequent abortion, when did this get political? She was unable to become one, and shares this tale because she had to choose a name for herself as a novitiate, and she chose Sister St. Mary. Having never used this name before, she went straight to Victor after Angela told about it, and explained to her what she had done at the time. She was convinced that something diabolical was present because of this. Victor is referred to Chris McNeil by her, "Yep, mother is back." As anticipated, Victor does not think that any sort of supernatural help is necessary, but after reading the book that Anne gave him, which was created by Chris, he resolves to meet her after recognizing a familiar face in one of the book's illustrations. Angela's tummy bears the words, "Help me," in a similar style as Reagan's. In the hopes of finding some answers, he drives to Chris' QOG score. Chris is now somewhat of an exorcism expert. Although she is unable to conduct one herself, she is an expert on them. According to her, rituals are practiced in all major religions and civilizations. She is eager to assist the girls right away because that is what she does for a living. She's essentially acting as a paranormal investigator at this point, determining whether religious intervention is necessary. When she meets Angela, it's obvious to her that this is a nasty creature from hell who is taking advantage of this young child. Victor believes that Angela has to be checked in for mental health issues, which is why she is in the hospital. However, Catherine's house appears very different. All the parents can do as their daughter wanders around freely is hope that everything works out. Chris makes a disastrous attempt to solve the problem on her own. The demon tries to convince her that Reagan is actually dead, but Catherine blinds her with a cross. From the time Chris published the book, the mother and daughter have not been close, and asks Father Maddox to perform an exorcism, but the Catholic Church turns her off because of how risky the scenario is overall. Victor gathers everyone who is willing to join forces with them because he knows that in order to defeat evil, people must band together. He extends an invitation to Catherine's parents, their pastor, Victor's neighbor Stuart, who first brought him to the rootwork healer Dr. Beehive, and of course African slaves brought rootwork healing, a ceremonial practice utilizing plants and roots, to America. In the final seconds, Father Maddox informs them that he is unable to accompany them, but he gives them his Bible and puts his faith in her to defeat this evil. Dr. Beehive draws a healing circle around the girls as they are positioned on 2 seats facing different directions and their hearts are monitored. She warns everyone against touching the girls during the procedure. Dr. Beehive goes about her own rituals on the side while and reads the exorcism right from the Bible. Realizing that faith is the only thing that will save the girls, everyone joins in with their own prayer. Dr. Beehive is able to wash the girls with vinegar, which acts as a kind of holy water, and so purge some of the impurities, but this is just the beginning and not a sufficient solution. The wicked spirit, in full demonic form, coerces the families into forcing them to choose one of the girls in order to survive. Both Miranda and Victor decline to make a decision. After all these years, Angela tells her father that he should select her now. Even if nobody wanted her, she brings to his attention the decision he made 13 years prior to choose his wife above his daughter. Ultimately, though, Serene's injuries were too severe, and the baby had to be removed from her stomach. Father Maddox, the priest, then appears because he is unable to watch these 2 girls' lives being stolen by the devil. Before his neck breaks and his face entirely reverts, giving a faint homage to the 1973 original, he puts his hands on the ladies' heads. Tony picks Catherine, even though Victor is now positive he can save both females. Given how obvious the decision is, it seems that Tony's choice has been approved by the devil. Reminding Angela that he and his mother both adore her, Victor dashes to deliver her the scarf he had stolen. He yells at her to return to him. Even though Victor may not be religious anymore, he still has confidence in his daughter, and he will stop at nothing to keep her safe. He assures her that he will perish as well if she doesn't. When Victor tries to cling to Angela's face, she gives him such a strong headbutt that he launches himself across the room. Angela ascends perfectly motionless, leading everyone to assume that she has vanished. However, just in time, released from evil, she spills a black substance upon the ceiling before tumbling to the ground. Since there is no heartbeat shown on the monitor, Victor snatches his daughter, believing her to be dead. Victor hugs his daughter and breaks down in tears. However, Catherine makes an effort to find her mother and inquires as to her whereabouts. The girl is still in hell. When she follows her mother's voice, the devil selects her and drags her back in. Angela awakens in Victor's arms, but Catherine is still in need of restoration. Is it only Victor's love for his daughter, or is the devil pulling another ruse? In keeping with Victor's decision, it is Angela, rather than Catherine, who makes it out alive. Either Victor truly shielded his child, or the protective ritual from Haiti continues to function. Suddenly, Victor's overly protective attitude toward Angela seems much more apparent. Now that Catherine is dead, the poor girl is condemned to hell, but will she ever return? Would she appear in more of the upcoming movie? It's conceivable. We might have to witness her agony in hell, or worse, she might return as a vengeful spirit. This would be unusual for a film about possession. Not only is there a sense of unease following Catherine's passing in The Exorcist, Believer's conclusion, but there is also a persistent sense that something is still pursuing Angela.